This video will show you how to set up an expense report. When you log into Concur, it'll say hi, your name, and you'll see whether or not you have required approvals, any open reports that have not yet been submitted, and it'll also show your available expenses. These available expenses are credit card transactions that have come in directly from PNC. Go ahead and click on that, and then you'll see all the expenses that are available. Choose Create New Report. We'll make this our February expense report. And you can add all of these to your current expense report, or as few as necessary, however you do it. You choose one of your expenses here on the left hand side, and it'll tell you what you're missing on this to make it right. So this was Bluetooth headsets for our drivers. So you got the amount in there, a vendor. This is where it's going. You cannot choose this at the employee level, but we can choose it as approvers and at the processing level. So you can move those things around later as necessary. Go ahead and click Attach Receipt. I have this already uploaded. You can see this is the Amazon receipt for $1,209. Press Attach. And now there are no more exceptions on this particular item. This is another option, is to itemize the receipt. If for some reason you had purchased some items from Amazon, some of it was for repair and maintenance yard, some was for repair and maintenance trucks, you could press Itemize. And you would choose your expense type. So I want to make half of it repair and maintenance trucks. Okay, we'll save that. And now we've got an exception here because there's not enough of the dollar amount itemized. So then you choose your expense type again, and we want to put the other half in yard. And now you end up with the other piece. So you have $604.89. We'll max it out. Press save. And now you don't have an exception here anymore, and we've split that receipt into multiple GL accounts for accuracy. I don't want to do that in this case. I want it all to go to the trucks, so I'm going to delete those, get rid of those lines, and move on to the next one. We will attach a receipt for the Walgreens. You can see we're getting through where we don't have any exceptions or yellow areas. Yellow means that we don't have any receipt attached yet, but we need one. Exceptions are things that will not allow the system to go through, or to push the expense through. So we need to define our expense. These are mouse traps, so that's an office expense. Attach the receipt. These receipts were taken with the camera on my phone that was running the Concur app. I'll show you how to use that another time. Press save. Supplies. Browse for the attachment. You can do that as well by scanning items in and using PDFs. Got hotel trip to Mishawaka. Just a brief explanation. Select your type, hotels. It's another Bluetooth headset. I just want to check that the expense type is correct, because as vendors come in, the system will start assuming what that vendor does. And obviously Amazon does a lot more than just repair and maintenance trucks. Westonbrook Mowers chainsaw. Attach receipt. That's this one here. Westonbrook for 604. Attach. And if you do this more often than I've done it for Chris here, it'll take less time. So Star Tickets, entertainment, staff, Griffin's tickets. And on these types of events, you need to add attendees so we know who has been using what the expense was used on. And in this case, it was Junior. And Tim Medendorp. So now we have these two, and now it's split evenly between those two attendees at $19 a piece. And in this case, we do not have a receipt for this, and so the system is mad about it. So we'll attach receipt, but we don't have one. So if you don't have a receipt, create a missing receipt affidavit here. Press there, and you can select all 4 of these that we don't have receipts for, and create and accept. We'll create the affidavit, and all that this is saying is that you've tried to get a receipt, you were unable to, and you're certifying that the original receipt is lost and you're unable to create another or obtain another receipt, and that you're certifying that this is a good expense. And so now that document will go with all of them that you selected. You can see for the Star Tickets, I certify I do not have a receipt for this. It's lost, and it says when you effectively signed it. Now, if you find the receipt, you can detach that and add a receipt back. The hope is that everyone will have receipts for all their expenses, especially since you'll be able to take pictures of them immediately with your phone. Everything's working fine except for this Star Tickets. I don't know why it's being a problem. Let's delete it. We'll go up and click import expenses, and you'll find that Star Tickets for $38 has come back. Just move it back on. Open it up, choose your expense type again, and that'll bring up your attendees. Okay, so now they've shown up. Let's remove Chris. Let's save it. And you see it's still mad because there's a no receipt on this. So let's click on it again. Attach receipt. There was no receipt. We'll make a receipt affidavit, accept and create. And we can look at what the exception is on here. And these yellow flags, they don't mean that it won't go through. It's just that it's something to note. So we can see that dinner was more expensive. And this probably should be changed to entertainment with staff. Save. And in that area, you could also add in all of your attendees so that the approver will know who was at that event. Now you can see we don't have any exceptions or warnings. And at this point, dinner, small tools, repair and maintenance, repair and maintenance. All right, everything looks good. So let's hit submit report. Actually, before I do that, I want to show you one more thing we can hit. Now that we've got all the credit card expenses in here, now I'll show you how to do a personal expense. Just press new expense, and you'll be starting from scratch. In this case, say he had some personal car mileage. And what you could say what day it was when this occurred. Say it was on the 2nd or the 28th, maybe. Griffin's game. So, and then here we can choose our mileage calculator. This will bring up Google Maps. So put in your steel and lumber. It'll bring up our address, and then Panhandle Arena. And that brings that up. It's 22.9 miles. And make it a round trip. And we'll know we had 45.2 miles on that trip. Add mileage to the expense, and it'll bring up 45 miles, which equates to $20.03. And it has a from location and a to location. Now you'll see that this payment comes up as cash. I'll show you the difference. When we've looked at all of these credit card events, they come up with a payment type of PNC Bank Visa right here. When you add in an expense that you did not use your company card for, it should come up as a cash payment. And that right there is what will dictate whether or not the employee gets paid back for that expense. And you can put all those on the same report. the system will look at each report and it'll divide out what goes to the credit card and what goes to the employee. And you have the same access to the same options as you do on your credit card. Just choose your expense type, and then when you're done, you just save. You have options to print or your receipts. See all the expenses. When you're done, you feel free to run through all of these if you so choose. Just press submit report, and that will go to your approver. Okay, and then when this window comes up, report successfully submitted, you'll see what the whole uh, the itemized list. So you'll see that the company is paying for $3,633 directly to the card, and will pay $20 to the employee in the total payout. At this point, you can see on your expense screen that you've got a submitted report, and it is pending approval from the approver. And there are no available expenses, no open reports, and no required approvals.